Hello, I'm Lori Raggio, the CEO and founder of Inspire Greatness Coaching, and you are tuned in to the Ladies Power Lunch Show.
Hi, I'm Amber Dancy, CEO of Practical Rebel, and you are tuned in to the Ladies Power Lunch Show.
Hi, I'm Robin Mayberry. I'm the CEO of Robin Mayberry Creates, and you are tuned in to the Ladies Power Lunch Show.
Hi, I'm Robin Clare, and I'm the Executive Director of the Seniors Job Bank, and you are tuned in to the Ladies Power Lunch Show.
Hi, I'm Megan Shelton. I'm the CEO of Next Step Education, and you are tuned into the Ladies Power Lunch Show.
Hi, my name is Shannon Malcolm Daniels, founder of Speak Success, Public Speaking, Communication, and Confidence Coaching, and you're tuned in to the Ladies Power Lunch Show.
Hi, I'm Marianne Pack, CEO of Envision Greatness Press, and you are listening to the Ladies Power Lunch Show.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Grow Your Business Smarter, Live Your Optimal Life TV show. Hi, I am your host. My name is Dr. Davia Shepherd. I also host a women's group called Ladies Power Lunch. I just want to give you a little insight about who Ladies Power Lunch is and why we do this show. Ladies Power Lunch is a place where women in business, we're talking about women in small business, women who are entrepreneurs, women who might have larger businesses. Some women might be in nonprofit or in corporate. We even have some members who are retired. But what holds us together is that we truly believe that the voices of women need to be heard. And we're here to support each other growing our businesses. And so that's why we have this show, because as we grow our businesses, we might come across challenges, things that might make it a little bit more difficult to move smoothly through the world of business. But guess what? We're not alone, because there is somebody out here who has gone through this, who's had these challenges, and who can share her wisdom with us so that we don't have to struggle and stress and strain and push and pull. We can actually lean on the experience of somebody else and actually grow faster, climb faster, and then pull somebody else up behind us. In addition to that, a lot of the times when we as women are out here being moms, we're being caregivers, we're being wives, we're being business owners, we're taking care of our households, sometimes we leave ourselves off our list. And so our show is two-tiered. Yes, we're talking about growing our businesses smarter, but we're also talking about living our optimal lives while we do all that. So it's a heavy lift, folks. It's a lot that we cover on this show, but my intention is for this to all be very beneficial for everybody who comes into contact with this show. So I hope you'll come join us over in our Ladies Power Lunch community. And it's really, really easy to join us. Just go to growsmarter.com/Facebook, and you'll find a community of over 1,000 amazing women and a few men who are absolutely ready to open their arms, link arms with you, and help you grow your business smarter. So welcome to the show. Today, our very special guest is my business bestie, Gail Petrowsky. And Gail has a vast experience being a coach. And when it comes to this idea of living your optimal life while growing your business, Gail knows it inside and out. So today we're going to pick her brain. We're going to get a lot of information from her about how we can get to the heart of what might be a holdup for very many of us. We might be on that struggle bus and wondering, why is this not moving faster for us? Why is our business not taking off in the way that we expect, especially when we're putting so much effort into it? What Gail's theory presupposes is that if we are able to lean really, really deeply into our very own self-love and self-appreciation, it makes a very big difference in being able to attract the kind of clients that we want, being able to climb the corporate ladder in the way that we want. It basically changes the whole game. So Gail, welcome to the show. We're so happy to have you. This is a big topic for us, and I would love for you to share with our audience who you are and a little bit of the amazing work that you do in the world.
Well, thank you, Dr. Davia. It's always a pleasure to be here. Hi, everyone. I'm Gail, and who am I? Let's see. I'm a life coach. I was a director of an international seminar program. And because of our topic today, I am now going back to life coaching and a retreat leader. So I've been leading and designing retreats for 30 years. I work with people one-on-one, predominantly women. I have worked with men and women, and I love that too. But now I'm more engaged with women and making a difference in their lives, because we as women, Dr. Davia, are the light post for everyone else around us. And if our light isn't shining as brightly as we need it to be, it overshadows everything else that we do, our perspective, and how we show up in life. Oh, and I'm an author.
You are a best-selling author. As a matter of fact, for those of you who are a little bit newer to our show, we had an amazing summit a couple of months ago called Live Your Optimal Life. And we had an opportunity to publish this beautiful, beautiful book called Live Your Optimal Life. It's
Yeah.
an anthology of outstanding heart-centered stories from many of our Ladies Power Lunch members about how they have been able to go from tragedy in some stages to triumph, to actually overcoming obstacles and living their optimal lives. And they've outlined the blueprint of how they've done it. And they've even put in little worksheets at the end of each chapter so that you can pull from your own experience and benefit from theirs. So one of our outstanding authors is Gail. And this book was a bestseller. Sometime, when was it? Sometime last year. It was awesome.
October, yeah.
October.
Yep,
Yes,
yep.
it was a very, very outstanding book. So if you have not as yet had an opportunity to get a chance to look at that book, just go to Amazon and search Live Your Optimal Life book, and you'll see it popping up. If you want to put in my name, Dr. Davia Shepherd, you'll see it coming up under my list of books that I have published over there. Or if you put Gail Petrowsky's name in, you'll see it coming up there too. So it'll be a very fun activity for you to do. Go to Amazon and buy our book. Yay.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Anywho, let's talk a little bit about this idea of self-appreciation. You
Mhm.
notice I didn't say self-love, Gail,
Mhm.
because here's the reason why. It feels to me right now like self-love is the new buzzword. A couple of years ago, it was authenticity. And I feel like now the new buzzword is self-care and self-love. And I feel that sometimes when these words come into prominence in the community, that they lose their gravitas. And so I would love for you to talk to us a little bit about what's really the meaning when we talk about self-love and self-care and self-appreciation. What is it that we really mean? What are we talking about? What's the essence of that?
Well, let me address this like this. Women face so many challenges in their lives, in our lives, in my life. We are predominantly, we are the sole caretakers of, I'm going to go overboard here, but the world and our world around us. Okay. And we take that on almost, in a way of grace and strength we've learned, or it's been imbued on us, or we just do it naturally. And everyone else, from my own experience in my own life, as well as watching countless women, over 1,000 women that have been through some of my workshops and retreats, have the same cry: when is it going to be time for me? When can I take the time unapologetically to take better self-care and appreciation for who I am in this world? And how do I do that when we're facing so many obstacles at the same time? What our children need, what our parents need, what our clients need, what needs to be done. All of these things that we juggle so well, and quite frankly, better than men, much better than men, and take care of the men in our lives. So when do we do this for ourselves? So that's the question. The point being, if we don't do this, and I'm going to use the phrase that everybody knows: when you go to onto a plane, they tell you to take the oxygen mask if something happens, put it on your face first, so that then you can take care of the person next to you. Well, this is what we have to remind ourselves of. It's not like we don't know this, but we forget it in the daily life of taking care of the world. So it's a very important strategic pattern, intrinsic, that we need to adapt to. And I say that not like it's a have to, but when you really look at longevity, your life, your overall health, how you feel about yourself in a confident way, how you interact with people, and what you say to yourself in privacy is very, very important. Because when we look at our own faces in a mirror, do you look at yourself and say, "Hey, beautiful, how you doing?" Or do you look at yourself and say, "You know what? You need to lose 10, 15, 20 pounds. When are you going to do that?" Oh, or "You're so busy today. When are you going to find time for that walk that you want, or doing yoga, or taking a breath?" It's the negative self-talk that is intrinsic and creates a pattern that stops even the neurotransmitters in our brain from giving us those feel-good emotions about who we are. We show up in life the way that we need to show up. But when do we show up for ourselves? When is that time? When is it going to be time for me, for you? Well, if we don't create that and put, as we just talked about in Ladies Power Lunch, put it on our schedule, our own appointment book, time for Gail, time for you. And what is it that you want to do? Then what happens is our stress levels and overwhelm become monumental. We don't set the clear boundaries that we really need to set for ourselves, and we can become ill. And I experienced that. I definitely experienced that. So when I was the director of an international seminar program, and it's not that program, I decided to take on more than I could chew, and raising young daughters and a husband and family and parents. And I hit the wall. So that's what happens. And I healed. And I only healed because I was able to change some of those patterns in my brain, in my thoughts, in my beliefs that I was saying about me. So no, I'm not Superwoman. So I had to get that one. And I also had to get that I needed time for me. I needed to step back, reevaluate my life. And I can only share this from my perspective of what I've experienced. And obstacles happen, challenges happen all the time. And you cannot stop. And I'm speaking from a place of importance here for you, because if you can recreate that pattern so that you can speak more positively about yourself in your mind, when you speak to yourself, you're going to feel the dopamine and the serotonin levels, start to come, and those are the feel good neurotransmitters that are going to support you in your well-being and balance. Unfortunately, a lot of us put that aside because we don't have time for positive affirmations. But those positive thoughts, if we can do them more consistently, will support each of us in feeling better about who we are, physically and emotionally.
I love that, Gail. And I want to rewind a
Yeah.
little bit. I just did the
Sorry, did I go
sign.
overboard here?
No. I just did the sign for rewind, and I realized that I'm totally dating myself because my children don't know anything about records and things like that. I mean, if we say to them rewind, they're gonna hit a button on their iPad or their
right,
iPhone.
right.
So I just had a moment of clarity about my age just now.
Oh, stop it.
Anywho, and my children are 9 and 13. Everybody who watches the show all the time knows I talk about them all the time. So I want to go back a little
Yeah.
bit, Gail,
Yeah.
because you were talking about going through an event of basically burnout.
Yeah.
Because you overdid it a bit. And I think it allows us to ask this question again, put a really fine point on it. Why is it important for us to focus in on our self-care? Why is that important? Why can't we just keep going and going and going and doing all the things? And I don't have time to take care of me. I'm just going to take care of everything else. Why is it important for us to actually take that time, slow down, and focus inwards?
Many reasons that are obvious, and they really are obvious, but we don't look at it because we don't see ourselves as vulnerable. Many of us think that we're like the Energizer battery that's not going to stop, but it does stop. And when that happens, low self-esteem sets in, depression can set in, not being able to be the visionary that some of you are, and being able to even see past where you are in that moment. And not only emotionally, biochemically does this happen to you, but the neurotransmitters in the brain start to diminish and not give off what you need for those feel-good energy that we need. And then what happens is we shut down, and we go on overload, and we still keep doing it no matter what, even though we have burnout. We're not looking at the signs, and we have ill health happen. So it's our longevity, it's our health, it's who we are, can't keep showing up the way that it was unless we take the time to understand, and I say it unapologetically because it's true, that we are important, that who we are is important and special and enough, just like our children, Davia, just like our husband. I know how difficult that is. I was always on point, and I still am, with the exception that I remind myself, and I don't do this perfectly, I have to remind myself consistently to get back in tune with something going on inside of me. What is that? So inner work needs to be done. Sometimes it's, you ask the question and the answer is ill health, mental confusion, not lack of clarity, out of alignment, being off balance, snapping at the least little thing that's happening, finding that your anger resolve is not what it was, and your patience level is not what it was, because you are at the place of burning out. That is the symptom.
You know, I'm really happy that you, as a person who's completely separate from me as a person, you're coming on the show and you're talking about the perils of allowing ourselves to get to that stage where we're at almost burnout or we're at burnout.
Yeah.
I have shared on our show so many times about my personal experience, and I'll just regale everybody one more time with a short version of this very long story. I had just started in private practice for the very first time. I had also just had a baby. I had something to prove. We were in an economic downturn. We didn't have the patients coming in that I expected we would have had. And so there was a lot to be done,
Yeah.
both in my personal life and in my work life. And I was doing all the heavy lifting to make it happen, bend it into shape. This was before Ladies Power Lunch was a part of my life. So I didn't have this amazing support of unique women behind me. I was lone wolfing it. And I wasn't losing the baby weight. I was nursing, and my baby was not sleeping through the night. So I was up all night with baby and then at work all day with patients and doing all the things. And I noticed I wasn't losing the baby weight. And my first thought did not go to your cortisol levels are too high for you to lose any weight. My first thought was, oh, I know what I need to do. I need to go train for the Hartford Marathon. And so I did. And 5 minutes after the marathon, maybe not 5 minutes, but very soon after the marathon, my body went into a really, really weird kind of shutdown. I was in the office with patients one day on crutches because walking was a challenge. And my patient said to me, Doc, you should probably go see someone. And I knew in that moment that taking care of me kind of needed to step up to the front of the line.
Yeah.
I went to see a friend I got in really quickly because, in the network of doctors that I know, I got in really quickly to see somebody, and she looked at me and she said to me, you know what's going on, right? And I did. I had pushed my body into an autoimmune situation because I was overstressed and I was not taking care of me. I had not been sleeping, and I ran a marathon. What was I thinking? Obviously, that was not the right choice. So folks at home, don't try this at home.
No.
But I feel as though in going through this extreme case, because most of us won't get to that stage where our body is in shutdown, right? We'll get to a stage where we have vague malaise. We'll feel not so great. We're probably feeling like we're tired all the time. Guess what? When your body isn't feeling like it's up to 100%, you're not going to be able to give your business, your career 100% either. You need to put yourself first, take care of you first, and then your mental capacities will be firing in an amazing way. And then you can do all the things that you need to do for your business and your family and your kids and your husband and your house and all the things that are there for you. But you kind of have to, like Gail says, and like they say on the airplane, put your mask on first. I have a mentor that I particularly like, Lisa Nichols, and she talks about giving from your saucer, giving from your overflow. So you're not even pouring from a full cup, folks. Your full cup is yours.
Yeah.
It's what's overflowing that you're able to give. And if you fill yourself up to overflowing, then that's the time when you'll actually be able to be at your best for yourself and for your business and for growth. Am I right, Gail?
You're absolutely right on. Right on, Davia.
So, I think maybe we can, on our next episode, talk a little bit about some of the do's and don'ts for self-care. I feel like we've really gotten into why it's important. I feel as though folks will really, really get that, am I really taking care of my own self-care, or am I using that word self-care, self-love, self-appreciation as a platitude and kind of just going through the motions as far as that's concerned? And that's something that I think would love for viewers to think about a little bit. Any last words, Gail, about why we need to pay attention to our self-care?
Our life, the quality of our life. And as you said, are we living as optimally as we really could be? And it's not about what's out there and what we're producing and the success. If we don't maintain that place inside of energy and regain a different set of patterns that will support our positive thoughts and feelings about ourselves and change who we are as far as scheduling us in our own schedule, then we are going to, as I said, some of us have done it already, hit that wall. I call it the wall. You call it burnout. It's the same thing. So yeah, I mean, that's really the bottom line. We need to recreate a different pattern that we're in. And I would love to talk about that another time, how to do that and what not to do. Although a lot of it has been shared in our conversation between us.
At the end of every show, Gail, and you've been on the show before, so
Yeah.
you know, at the end of every show, I like to pull a card. And I like these cards because I think they are a nice thought for the day or for the week until we see each other again. And today I'm pulling from, because we're talking about self-love and
Yeah.
it's February. I know we're not supposed to timestamp these because anybody can watch them at any time, but it's actually February, the month of love. And I think it's a perfect time for us to talk about loving ourselves. So this card I'm going to pull right now is from the Love Your Inner Goddess deck by Alana Fairchild. It is one of my favorites because I just love the artwork. It's so beautiful. And let's see what we should be thinking about today. And I love these cards because even if I pull the same card twice in a row, the meaning that pops out for me is always different.
Yeah.
It's just bringing to the forefront sometimes things that are hidden in my subconscious. Ooh, so this one says, be brave and true, spirit warrior. And it's number 19. I wonder what that means. Interesting. It says, you are earning the right to make significant progress in your life.
I like that.
The universe will make certain you are ready for the breakthrough by testing your spiritual maturity. The universe wants to make sure that we're wise enough to use our increased power and other blessings wisely and not hurt ourselves and others. Even if no one else knows about it, will you behave with integrity and be true to yourself? Will you be kind, even when you could be in the position to judge another? Be the best human you can be and know that any tests you're going through are actually predictions of positive changes and divine gifts headed your way. What's this saying to you, Gail, especially in the context of this self-appreciation conversation that we're having today?
So what showed up for me, Davia, in my heart was the acknowledgement of self-compassion and better and self-understanding without being so harsh in the judgments that sometimes we have about ourselves and who we are. So that's what really showed up for me, is that we need and I also need more self-compassion to, you know, implement that into my software in my brain.
I love that. You
Yeah.
know, the beginning of the guidance on this card says integrity means being true to yourself.
Yeah.
And how many places in our lives are we not being true to ourselves? And in not being true to ourselves, what is that chipping away at? What is being left behind
Yeah.
because we're not being true to ourselves?
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
If you had to give us one little piece of homework just around perhaps this idea of being more aware of the need for self-care, just around the need for self-care and self-appreciation and self-love, what could you send us off to go do?
I think the first thing to do is to become more cognizant and aware of your self-talk. Because, you know, a lot of people have a a strange understanding of affirmations. However, if you are more consistent in being more positive in your own mind about yourself, versus the negative self-talk, then that is going to show up in your well-being, and you'll feel more balanced and aligned with your life. So I think that would be the most important thing, is to be more aware of your own self-talk. What do you say to yourself about yourself? And create more consistency even though it may feel strange to say more positive things about yourself.
So, folks, I love for this to be a show where people can come and get things that they can do that they can use to move forward in their lives. And so, your homework, should you choose to accept it between now and the next time that we all come together, is get out that journal and perhaps every day just make a journal entry about how did I talk to myself today? What were the things, and with no judgment, folks, this is just noticing. Were there times when I said things to myself that I would not say to a friend? Were there times when I said things to myself that were outstanding and amazing? Just noticing. Let's use this next week between now and our next show to notice the things that we are saying to ourselves. And then next time, we'll talk a little bit more about exactly how we can go about implementing more self-care, self-love, and self-appreciation into our lives so that we can grow our businesses smarter. Gail, it is always such a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Dr. Villa, and thank you everyone who's out there listening, because it is a blessing to be here with you.
Thank you. One last thing, folks. I'm going to ask a favor of you. Ladies Power Lunch, we have had retreats over the years, but since 2019, we have not had a retreat at all because of the pandemic. And, getting back into having these self-love and self-care and self-appreciation retreats is really, really important to me. So I have a survey. I'm trying to make sure that when we roll out the next retreat, that it's going to be exactly what people need. So I have a survey. It's at growsmarter.com/retreat-survey. And I'm just going to ask you, could you pop on over there and check out the survey? It's literally 2 questions. And if you can answer that survey for us, give us some feedback. We'd really, truly, truly appreciate it. And I want to say thank you so much for being part of our audience. Thanks for tuning in. And I'll see you on the next show. Bye, everyone.